This is all of it on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. Grammy Award-winning saxophonist, composer, and bandleader David Sánchez returns with his first new album in 7 years. Influenced in part by experiences traveling and listening to the sounds throughout the Afro-Caribbean diaspora, it's titled TAMBÓ. It's a follow-up to his 2019 release, Carib, which explored ancestral chants. The new album, TAMBÓ, also draws inspiration from the bomba traditions of Puerto Rico to the drumming legacies of Colombia. Sánchez blends modern jazz with Afro-Caribbean ribbons to honor Black heroes across the Americas. This includes a legendary freedom fighter who led enslaved Africans to liberation. TAMBÓ is out now, and tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 27th, David Sánchez brings the music to Lincoln Center for a special live performance. But before that, he's here with us in studio today to perform a few songs. David, welcome to all of it.
Thank you so much, Allison. Thanks for having us.
Tell us about the first song you're going to perform.
Well, this song is actually it's the first track on the album. You know, it's entitled Un Belén pa' Eddie. And, you know, Belén is a tradition in Puerto Rico that we have, you know, and it's an Afro-descendant tradition that, you know, when someone died, you go to the cemetery, you know, and help him rest with music. And it's a celebration. It's a musical celebration. So we lost Eddie Palmieri, and he was one of my mentors, you know, and the true master, and we lost him, and you know, I'm still missing him, and he influenced me in many different ways. So I decided to do Un Belén pa' Eddie Palmieri, and you know, we lost another very influential, amazing, one of the geniuses of the music, and happened to be a very important influence in me as a saxophone player and as a person, because the way he conducted himself, the great Sonny Rollins. So we're going to dedicate also this to Sonny Rollins as Un Belén pa' Eddie.
That was saxophonist and bandleader David Sánchez. He's here to perform a few songs ahead of his Lincoln Center show tomorrow night, Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. He has a new album out. It's called TAMBÓ. On your Instagram, you mentioned that TAMBÓ is, quote, the album is based on the notion that the Caribbean has a meaning that goes far beyond being a geographical reference. What meaning were you writing about?
Yeah, what I meant is that feel that I would get every time I would go anywhere outside of the islands, what we consider the Caribbean, geographically. But somehow, some way, I would go visit these other places outside, not necessarily in the Caribbean islands, and I would feel that it's more like a cultural expression, and you can breathe the Caribbean. It's embedded in there in one way or the other. There's a cadence and certain idiosyncrasy that it is Caribbean. It could be from Veracruz, Mexico, to Venezuela, to Colombia. In this case, all the Colombian, what is the coast? Panama, it could be anywhere. New Orleans, we like to think, I basically think and see New Orleans as the northern part of the Caribbean, honestly. And, you breathe and you feel the essence of the Caribbean. And I guess that's what I meant to say.
We'll have more with David Sánchez after a quick break. This is all of it. You're listening to All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. My guest is saxophonist and bandleader David Sánchez. He's here to perform a few songs and discuss the inspiration behind his latest album, TAMBÓ, ahead of his show at Lincoln Center tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Will you introduce us to everybody in the band before we talk?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. We have him on piano, Alex Brown on piano. On bass, we have Ricky Rodriguez. On percussion, we have, and barrels, percussions, we have Camilo Molina. And on drums, we have Tony Escapa.
Woo, woo. I read that this album was inspired by a trip to Colombia with your wife.
Yes.
Where did you go exactly, and what was unique about it?
Well, I went to Colombia. I went to San Basilio de Palenque. And it was a casual visit, and immediately I was I was attracted by and drawn by everything I saw. It's like I was there before, but it was really my first time. It was kind of like a surreal kind of experience that way. And I could not help to make these parallels between San Basilio and in the northeast part of Puerto Rico, we have a town. It's called Loíza, Loíza, and there was too many parallels and too many similarities. So I was curious, and I wanted to go back, and then I knew immediately that I want to do something with it. Especially when I heard the inspiring story of Bencos Viejo.
Yeah, please tell me a little bit about him.
Because I didn't know. And when I started reading, you enter the town and there's a big statue. The first thing you see in the plaza that's Bencos Viejo. And it's like this enslaved, but, liberated, we're still with the shackles. And when I started reading, I was like, wow, he was a runaway. He escaped. And he actually went to the mountains and was able to organize basically an army of Maroons or runaways to fight against the Spaniards and the colonizers. And they actually got it. The Spaniards were like, so they had a sovereign place. And the amazing part is that this was in 1603 or 1604, something like that. This is 200 years before what I knew. I thought, it was, the Haitian Revolution in, 1803, So I was drawn by the story. Because we don't, in school, when I was growing up, they don't tell you about the heroes that, especially the, Afro-descendant, heroes. All you see is statues of, the people that colonized us, or came to this part of the world. And you don't hear the fascinating stories, so many fascinating stories of these people. So I was driven to actually play. And this song, as a matter of fact, is called Bencos y los Cimarrones. And palenque, un palenque is kind of means cimarrón in a way, which is a maroon. So this piece is actually, it was inspired by that story.
Well, let's hear it. This is David Sanchez. That was saxophonist David Sánchez. His show at Lincoln Center is tomorrow, Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. His latest album is Tambo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope to see you all there, 7 and 9 tomorrow night.
Love it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate you.